Hi, this is Vince Weston. I've been absent, I guess, from producing videos for a little while now, so I thought I'd warm myself back up. I do have a couple of eye candies to come, but just talking a little bit quick about a couple of things I use on my bench, or have been using on my bench, and what I use them for. Number one here is probably recognizable by most people, except that it's got some crust on it. Is basically an old CD DVD. I use this for my glue. When I'm spotting out glue, I put it on here because I really don't worry. If you ever want to make sure your optical vision devices can no longer be read, this is a good way to ensure it. As you can see, this is an old AOL disc from way back. I'm still working myself through those, but any old CD or DVD that you have, you can use as a palette. You could mix paint on it, or I put super glue or glue whenever I'm going to use just a dab of something. I can just plop it on here, and then just when I'm done, I can toss them aside, when eventually just throw them away. One of the other things that I use a lot of, and they come in slightly different shapes. Oops, dropped that. Maybe we can get a little bit better focus on that. Are two interesting little shapes that if you wear contacts you might recognize. These are the contact containers. I use them for little mixing pans when I need small amounts when I'm doing brushing. I don't have a big palette, so I use these. Once again, free, since I paid for my contacts. And, you know, they have various different things. I'm sure somebody could probably even think of a couple other things. I also use them to hold, like, tiny parts when I'm working on something, so I don't mislay them. This is just a little pan from some sort of food device. I've used this a lot for decals. As a matter of fact, I can get a small amount of water and warm water in there and do my decaling with, or decaling, with this. I haven't really run into too many decals that don't quite fit, so that's another thing. Recently I was doing, I drilled out on my Nightmare project, I've drilled out the headlights and wanted to replace them with clear lenses because they came as condensed, or as just a solid styrene. I don't really have a great I'm not even sure what the right name is anymore, tap set where, you know, you can buy from Micro-Mart and you can make little circles. I've used this punch and worked pretty successfully. One thing I did do was I did sharpen it up a little bit on the inside, and down here on the mallet I usually put a thicker piece of paper so I can punch down without dulling it into the brass too hard. But that's another one that I, you know, happened to get. I think years ago I paid a couple of bucks for this, so it wasn't really a big deal. One of the other things that self-made that you can see in the background here is my body stand for painting bodies. Basically, this is just a coat hanger bent into a U and pushed out a little bit. I have an RC friend that gave me the neoprene. That's their gas line that they use on the RC planes. Makes a good rubber cushion and helps it not slip. I was fortunate enough to find this piece of aluminum. I don't know, I think I found it where I work. In computers, they must be using it for something. But I was able to drill a couple of holes and put in my wires, and I've super glued them on the bottom, or that might be epoxy. I think it's epoxy, and put a couple of these little holders on top. I can't adjust this, but when I bent the wire, I kind of took what I thought was kind of an average body and fit it in there. I've used this several times, and it worked out really great. Also, I purchased these turntables, well, they're Lazy Susans, to be perfectly honest, at a estate sale, flea market, whatever you want to call it. And that's what I can turn it on when I got to move to spray the body. You know, I can turn it that way, or I can actually grip the stand to get underneath. Kind of handy. One of the other inexpensive things that I use a lot is this little guy. It's very similar. It's a single action external mix airbrush, and strangely enough, it just says airbrush on the side. The Posh starter kit, like they have in Hobby Lobby, is very similar to this. But I think I paid $10 for this one at Harbor Freight. I think it was on sale for some amount, and then I had a 20% off coupon. It's a pretty good little set. It comes with the airbrush itself, this 1 ounce bottle, the hose, and this larger bottle, which I've never quite been able to figure out what I'm going to use that for, but it's still, you know, it's part of the set. And like I said, I think I paid $10, maybe $12 for it. The Posh kit I know you can get at Hobby Lobby with the 40% off would come to about $16, so this was a little bit cheaper. And this is my holder for this single action. I like to keep it in a box so I can keep all the parts together, including the little wrench that comes with it. And this is actually a Cheesecake Factory box. Just happens to be the right size, and I wrote single external on it. But that's another freebie. These type of food boxes can be used for lots of things, I'm sure people can imagine. But I like to keep the airbrush in there because it keeps it clean and it keeps it safe from me dropping it. I'm a little shaky around glass, even though those are pretty heavy. But I mean, I can put all the parts right inside, you know, and slap it closed and stick it up on a shelf out of my way. The last item that I wanted to talk about, and I don't know how well this is going to show up, this at this end is gloss paint, and I don't think this is really going to show as much as I'd hoped. In the middle, this is with a matte polyurethane over the gloss paint. These are actually artist acrylics. And then down here, I made the matte more flat, if that's visible at all. I'll try and move this back and forth a little bit. Maybe the camera can hit the light and you'll see how much different that is. But I was able to make this more flat, or dead flat, than the original matte. I found matte can be a little bit shinier than sometimes I want it to be when I'm looking for something that's really dead flat. And the way I did that was basically mixing in a little baby powder. I don't really want to show you the label, but any talcum powder, shower to shower type powder, you know, works. You can just mix it in with your finish. You know, I mean, dull coat will work, gloss coat, you know, the Testors products. You can mix it in with that, use it in a spray gun. These, like I said, in this case, this was acrylic polyurethanes I did this with. And it definitely, you know, you can see how much flatter it really is than the matte finish. And, you know, I mean, if I can really catch the reactions of the light. There's the light up overhead. So you can see how much less reflective that is. And like I said, it's just a little bit of baby powder. Something, you might be able to use in your travels when you're looking for something specifically for that. That's pretty much it for right now. I do have, I've been spending more time, I've been away from the videos for a while. I've fallen behind on YouTube watching. Oh, there was one more thing I did want to talk about. But, so I've been spending more time at the bench. I've made some real progress on my Nightmare, which I didn't think I was going to make as much progress as I have with the limited time that I do have. So, I've done that, and I actually took on a small side project of a kit so that I can play with, and that's a 70 Chevelle Snap-Tight that I have. It's a Chevelle SS. But that's turning into some fun. I'm doing a lot more detailing work on it and everything. The last item is those. Now, I know these look like Cary Grant's glasses. I bought these actually at the dollar store for $1. They are 2.5 magnification, which is kind of what you find in your Optivisor. But of course, your Optivisor can be a lot more expensive. I think you can also get 3.25 magnification in these, and for $1, they work just as well as an Optivisor does. So if you needed multiple grades, anywhere between 1 and 325, you can get them for $1, spend $3 on, well, like I said, these are 2.5s, a 3.25, and maybe a 1.5, but they're just cheap reading glasses. I use them a lot. They definitely help for increasing my visibility on close-up work. So that's the last item. But anyway, here we are. I'm starting again. Hopefully will be shooting the videos on an update on the Nightmare. I'm still not done, but I'm closer. And a lot of that comes thanks to Chris Chapman and his rusty 37 Ford. So some of that kind of inspired me, and some of the rest of it gave me some tips on how to do some other things. And I kind of have shut down the idea factor for that. I'm trying not to come up with any more things that I can stick into it. Like I said, the other is a Snap-Tight 70 Chevelle SS 454. I believe it's a Revell kit, but I'll shoot some videos of those and put them up on YouTube and let you take a look at them. I'll show you what I've been doing, and we'll be along in a little bit. Alright, so until then, have fun, and we'll see you later. Bye.